And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from William Chuckbrick, who has I might be butchering that name, sorry. Who asked the question, who would win a fight? Lucy from Elfen Lied versus Mewtwo from Pokemon. So in concept, I do kind of get this. Mewtwo is the man-made Pokemon. And well, Lucy is not a man-made creature. She was experimented on, trying to turn into a weapon, and that did not go very well, as we know in Elfen Lied. But I feel like that's kind of where the similarities end. So Lucy is what's known as a oh god, what's her freaking species name? Diconicus. Okay, there he is. Diclonus. Yeah, I think it's like Diclonus. An evolutionary offshoot of humans. Now, what this basically means is really not much in terms of her physicality or anything like that. She's pretty much human, just with the little horns on her head. But more importantly, she has what are known as her vectors, which are basically these invisible telekinetic arms, which you can use to manipulate objects, able to infect human males with a virus that causes their children to be born Diclonuses. And she's also a skilled marksman and gunman. But the important thing really to go over in this fight would be her vectors. The arms are, she can, for a while she only had like a couple, and then as the series went on she could make God knows how many of them. They're insanely durable, capable of blocking gunfire, even shielding her from the brunt force of explosions. And I believe in one chapter she hit with the force of almost like a nuclear blast, basically destroying an entire island, which is very impressive. She is very skilled at using these to dangerous effects. They are invisible to the naked eye, so unless you have some extrasensory perception ability, you're not going to be able to see them. And then there is the fact that she is kind of insane. she is kind of insane, particularly when she starts going off using these vectors. Now, these do come with a bit of weakness. One, if you damage one of the horns, you could seriously damage her abilities. So there's that. Two, if I remember correctly, overusing her power will actually cause her body to break down. So she has to be a bit careful with that. But she's still very powerful, nonetheless. Mewtwo, obviously, anyone who's played Pokemon, hell, anyone who probably hasn't even played Pokemon, but at least saw the first movie, knows the backstory of Mewtwo. Mewtwo is a clone of the ancient Pokemon Mew. Mewtwo Mewtwo went rogue, destroyed the place where it was. Well, destroyed the lab it was built in. Apparently, Mewtwo is somehow available in Scarlet and Violet. Transfer with her home or an event. The event hasn't happened yet, but you can still transfer from home. But anyway, so it went off, tried to destroy the world, was convinced not to, and it showed up periodically in other forms of the Pokemon medium. Now, the question does become, is the Mewtwo that we see in every single movie the same Mewtwo? Because Mewtwo has shown up in, Mewtwo Strikes Back, that sequel where I know for a fact that was the same Mewtwo. But then there's the Genesect movie, and it has a different voice, but that could just be a retcon because Dan Green wasn't around. So I don't know for certain if, and sorry, 1 second here. Gotcha. I had a fly in there. So it could be that it was just a retcon. For all intent and purposes, we'll say it's a retcon. Now, Mewtwo, Mewtwo's one of the literally strongest legendaries there is. Like, its weakest, if we're just going by the game stat totals, which obviously means certain amounts of things, its weakest stat total is 90 in defense and special defense. Its weakest stat is its defenses. And even then, 90 is not a bad defense in the slightest. And then you talk about speed. It's got 130 speed, which means it is a fast Pokemon. And then obviously its biggest, and then you got 106 HP, 110 attack, physical attack, but it's a special attacker 154. It's a psychic type Pokemon. And its psychic abilities are to the point where it can read minds, erase memories, no problem whatsoever. It can do mass Xavier level mind wipes. It literally changed the weather just using its psychic powers. It can create barriers for blocking. It can just psychically move things with telekinesis, no problem. In terms of just the attacks it learns naturally, no TMs, which we will not include TMs because that's not fair. Because those are. Then again, in theory, he could be smart enough to find TMs and use them. But just his natural abilities include Disable, which stops you from using an ability, Confusion, Swift, Life Dew, and those are the moves that it just has naturally available, which means at level 1 Mewtwo, just being created out of the lab, still A, has a complete list of moves, and B, actually has some pretty decent move sets. But then it can learn Ancient Power, which is a rock-type move that can basically get an attack. It's a special-type rock move, too. But can points raise all of his stats. Psycho Cut, which is a physical psychic-type move, which basically is a giant cutting psychic blade. Safeguard, which basically protects from status conditions for 5 turns. Amnesia, which raises his special defense. Aura Sphere, which we see in the movie, the original movie, but wasn't actually a confirmed attack until much later on, which is basically just our Aura Energy Blast, which does not miss. Psychic, which is one of the strongest psychic attacks you could have. Literally just super force of power of telekinetic energy. Power Swap. The user employs its psychic power to switch changes to its special attack and attack with the target. Interesting. Guard Swap. Same thing, but with special defense and defense. Mist, which cloaks itself and allies in a white mist that prevents their stats from being lowered for 5 turns. Psy Strike, one of its signature moves. The user materializes an odd psychic wave to attack the target. The move deals physical damage despite being a special move. It can learn Recover, where it recovers at least half of its HP, and Future Sight, where it literally sends an attack into the future that hits about 2 turns later. That is all the moves it can learn naturally, all of which are very devastating. But then, just for shits and giggles, Mewtwo is one of the only Pokemon I know of that I think can learn an attack from every single type. And that's just to show versatility. They can learn normal type moves, which we already had normal type moves. Psychic type moves is a given. Fighting type moves, we know that. Ghost type moves, grass type moves, water type moves, chilling water it can learn as of Gen 9. Ground type moves, ice type moves, rock type moves. I think I already did rock, didn't I? No, I didn't do rock. Yeah, rock type moves. Let's see, dark type moves. That's 10 types right there. Fire type moves. I'm starting to get low here. Maybe you can't learn moves, but electric type moves. We might be running low now, folks. You need poison type moves. You can learn Poison Jab. We're almost there. Come on, give me a couple more. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm starting to think I might be wrong on this. But flying type moves. You can learn Hurricane. Okay, we're almost there. I'm really hoping. Nope. Okay, so out of the 18. Oh, hold on. Let me just get the type chart up here real quick. Out of the. Where are all my types? Out of the, I believe it's 20 types, it can learn 14 different type-based moves as of Gen 9. Be very clear, as of Gen 9. The amount of moves a Pokemon can learn kind of change for each generation. So it's an extremely versatile being. And if you want to just add insult to injury here, Mewtwo is one of the only Pokemon apart from Rayquaza that can Mega Evolve without a Mega Stone. In the Genesect movie, it Mega Evolved in the Mewtwo Y without the use of a Mega Stone. So, and let me see here. Yeah, I'm just gonna go Mewtwo Gen 6. Anyway, yeah. So, and if I were to give it Mega Evolution, we should hypothetically assume it can do it with the Mewtwo X form as well, where it's the Fighting type move. Fighting type Mewtwo. So the point being is that Mewtwo is a very dangerous individual. But the question becomes, who wins in a fight between these two? If we're to set up that somehow this takes place maybe on an island, maybe Lucy's going kind of crazy, and maybe she enrage or whatever in a psychotic moment kills some innocent Pokemon that are on Mewtwo's island, and Mewtwo gets involved and they square off. Immediately, Lucy's going to try to hit him with the vectors, but Mewtwo is psychic and has extrasensory perception. He could very easily probably see these vectors and probably put up a shield. And the vectors are still powerful, and he'd probably get toyed around for a little bit, but never actually hurt. This really just... that's pretty much kind of all the fight would be on Lucy's part, because Lucy only has the vectors. She uses skills marksman, gunman, and is not weak by any stretch of the means. It's just when you're talking about actual fights against individuals, she's very limited in what she can do. The ultimate issue I see for her in this fight is the fact that Mewtwo is far more versatile and ultimately just far more powerful. He literally could change the weather with just his mind. He could literally just use psychic, cause her to float. He could stop the vectors he could literally stop the vectors with his mind if he wanted to. He could crush her in an instant, or he could literally just mind wipe her if he wanted to. And that's not even, and I'm saying Mewtwo is genderless, but vocal-wise, it was portrayed by a guy. Mewtwo could easily just bury her under the ground. Mewtwo could literally tear her apart. Mewtwo could fire any one of his actual attacks at her, and in theory, because Psychic, for example, would bypass her vectors, and he could just do whatever, ragdoll her. Side Strike could theoretically hurt her. Aura Sphere. All these attacks, in theory, many of these can bypass her vectors without any real difficulty. And that's not even including any Mega Evolutions, which amp him up further. So Mewtwo really, at any point, can just shut her down when he wants to. Just kind of go, and just, there you go. Even if she had some level of mental resistance, she's not a psychic. She's not a telepath. She's not none of those. So she's very limited in, like, say, mental resistance. And we already know this girl has a fractured psyche as it is. So it would not be difficult for Mewtwo to really take advantage of that. So, honestly, Mewtwo, I think, would kind of wreck Lucy a little bit. He really... I don't know if he'd kill her straight out, but he would definitely not go easy on her and either just cause her to just go completely... or literally just shut her down temporarily. If not, just go rip her apart. Because he could do that. And honestly, he can also discern every one of her weaknesses just by reading her mind. She does not have resistance to telepathy, as far as I know. And even if she does, Mewtwo is far stronger than any telepath that's probably in that series. Which, again, I don't think there is. So I'd go Mewtwo. Mewtwo would be my win for this. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you agree or do you disagree? I don't know. Let me know. Till then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.